Discover is accepted at 99% of places in the U.S.
Hey, this stream is actually for our community office hour, so this basically gives everyone the opportunity to ask whatever questions they might have uh, about courses, blog posts, latest announcements, and things like that. Hey, everyone. No, the stream's going to be in English. So, Ripple DJ, you can use whatever setup you would like. You can use the Kali VM. You could use Kali on bare metal. You can literally do whatever you want in terms of what operating system you use. However, we should probably note, if you want to receive the best kind of help that you can, it's probably best that you do use a Kali virtual machine or bare metal, but preferably virtual machine. Yeah, that's totally fine, Ripple DJ. You could do that. Yeah, so that limitation that you're referring to, Ripple DJ, is the use of the Metasploit framework, specifically using kind of the exploitation modules that come with it. I would take a look at the exam guide, and you can find that on the website. Just look up OSCP exam, and you should be able to see kind of what's involved with that. But if you have your doubts, you can always reach out to our challenges department, which will I'll put it in the chat there for you to reach out to if you're interested, and you can always ask them any questions that you might have about what's allowed on the exam, what's not.
Mike check.
Hey, Robert. So, Extreme Paperclip, the agenda for today's stream is whatever questions that our students and community members have. This is basically just a giant question and answer panel. We hold these every week for our community on Discord. So basically any questions that you might have about courses, blog posts, latest announcements, career advice, career opportunities, whatever it may be, if we can answer it, we will. So good question, but no, unfortunately, we do require people to register for the course in order to take the exam. Just a friendly reminder for anyone who's joining us over on Twitch, once we actually start our session, we're pretty much going to only be paying attention towards Discord. We're only doing this stream here for those who can't join us usually. So if you want to ask a question to our panelist of staff who will be joining us from various departments, I recommend joining us on Discord. We put the link to our server in the chat. We could do it again shortly. But once you've joined the server, find us in a very specific channel if you want to hear it over audio live versus on stream. And then there's another text-based channel where you can ask your questions there. Hey everyone joining us on Discord. We are streaming over on Twitch as well. In case you need to leave, you can always catch us later for our recording. But we are over on Twitch, but we're primarily only taking questions here on Discord. But we're started a little early. We'll give it some time before we actually kick things off.
Hey guys, is it just me or was he breaking up pretty bad?
Yeah, I was about to ask the same thing. Your audio is scratchy McScratchy on that. There we go.
All right, hopefully this is better.
I don't know. Give a speech so we can hear it.
I'll give this speech pretty soon.
I want to hear you address all matters.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying gibberish. I have no idea where
Just
I'm going.
the Gettysburg Address.
There
You know you had to memorize it at some point. Let's
okay.
go.
Should
You know, I
do
never
like
had to memorize that thing.
Should I do like a lorem ipsum?
So we're
Brown
doing
facts.
this over Twitch this time, huh?
It is being streamed to Twitch.
Your I pulled that up. I can see your Discord screen, huh?
Yeah, there'll be the screen there. I mean, there's not a whole lot. Pretty much just so everyone can see who's talking, and then yeah. The live captioning.
Interesting.
Hi, everyone.
Greetings.
Jim, do you need a young person to explain what Twitch is to you?
I need this thing broken down for me. Why would someone sit here and watch someone play video games on the computer instead of playing it themselves? I just don't get this.
Oh my god, that's me.
Yeah. In my day, a stream was a small river.
It was
We
a
liked
crick.
it that way.
It was a step up from a crick. I know the people here on Discord with us are kind of used to our nonsense, but we got folk there on Twitch that are WTFing right now.
Yeah, I'll give the spiel pretty soon to everyone on Twitch and Discord here. But for those of you on Twitch, if you are interested in asking our panelist of staff questions, I highly recommend you join us on Discord, as we're only taking questions from there for now.
So you're saying we're going to ignore Twitch chat? Oh my gosh.
For now.
Oh my gosh. These Twitch chat people.
But people should join the Discord anyway.
Yeah, they should. They really should. And hey, in the meantime, I don't want to break the tradition of talking about movies and such. Saw Gray Man on Netflix.
I saw it too. To be
I liked
honest, it was bad, but it was the best kind of bad. You know what I mean?
It's the type of movie that when I was younger, used to play when it's like you were channel hopping and you'd stop on a channel and it'd be like TNT movies for guys who like movies, and that was like the best possible description for what they were going to play. That this is the type of movie that would have aired in that segment and during that time slot.
Do you think it was a ripoff of Leon the Professional?
The Professional is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Same.
I love that one. It's a great movie, but I don't think it's any more of a ripoff of that movie than it is every single movie where the hitman is betrayed by the agency that employs them, and it's such a trope. They're all the same, but it doesn't change the fact that they're like guilty pleasures.
Real quick, is
There's
there's
someone
still
higher.
finishing up?
Seeing Captain America with the pedo mustache.
He rocked that. Yeah, it did have a very Jason Bourne. Felt like Jason Bourne light.
Yep.
So,
There's so many things in the movie that like you're like, what? Why the hell? Why would they do that? Like, it just didn't make sense. But still, guilty pleasure. It doesn't have to be good to be enjoyable.
Do we know if OffSec Live is finishing?
Probably is. I don't know. I was wrapped up in other meetings, and so I wasn't able to attend today.
Fair enough. All right, we could probably go ahead and just kick things off. So for everyone who's here from our panelists, we are streaming over on Twitch, so you are aware if you missed our internal announcement. For everyone on Twitch and Discord, if you've never attended one of these before, on Discord at least, this is our community office hour. We hold these every week around this time, and this gives our community members their opportunity to ask any questions they might have, whether it be about blog posts, courses, latest announcements, career advice, career opportunities, whatever questions you may have. If we can answer it, we will. So for those of you joining us on Twitch, highly recommend you join us on Discord, since that's the only place we'll be taking questions, at least for this week. We'll look to maybe switch back and forth in the future between the two, but for now, join us on Discord. We've put the chat in the link a couple of times already. Joining us, we have a bunch of different staff from various departments. We'll let them each have an opportunity to say who they are and what they do at OffSec. if they feel like it. Otherwise, everyone here is a janitor. And we'll start with Dead One.
I do security testing here at OffSec.
All right. And then we have Dr. Phi.
Hello, everyone. Name is Faisal Abdullah. I am head of the Academy at Offensive Security, here to answer any questions about OffSec Live. Thank you very much.
And then we have Vespa.
Hey, I'm the content development manager for defense and security operations.
And Elwood.
My name is Jim. I do management things.
We got Harbinger.
I'm the content development manager for pen testing and exploit dev.
And then we have Obed.
Hi, I'm David. I'm a student mentor at OffSec. I provide mentorship and support to students in Discord.
And then I am Falcon Spy, the community ambassador here at OffSec. I'm also the host for the office hour. So, again, if you have any questions, join us on Discord and ask your question in the Wireside text channel. That's where we'll be taking our questions from, at least for this week. And we'll go ahead and kick things off whenever we have an opportunity. If a new staff member joins us, we'll let them introduce themselves. Otherwise, we'll just keep going with our questions. And if we've run out of questions, we'll usually just talk amongst ourselves about movies or whatever. So we have our first question here. Someone wanted to buy the OCP package and use their student ID in order to, I guess, acquire a discount on their purchase. They want to start their OCP journey sometime after December of 2022, if not a little bit later. How can someone get approved for their student discount to purchase their course and push it out a little bit further?
The process of what you need to do to be eligible for the student discount is documented on the FAQ. So I would go there and look that up. In terms of how often you can keep postponing the start date of the labs, I don't know. I mean, does anyone on this call know the answer? If not, what you really want to do is email help to get an actual official item from registration on that. They're going to be the authority. Unfortunately, I don't know the direct answer for that unless anyone here is more informed than I am on this. Is it orders? Yeah, orders at offsec.com, not help. Help is something else. So orders at offsec.com will be able to take care of you there. I don't know. I see. It looks like Will is not online right now. He'd know if he shows up. We can bring it back up with him, and he'll be able to answer.
All right, our next question here. Is there any corporate discounts for the OCP certification?
Any corporate discounts? Well, I mean, you contact our sales department, and you can always negotiate out something. I suppose the more you buy, the more you save. I think that there's always some sort of bulk type of item that comes up on that sort of things. I am not in sales. I'm not the person you want to have in sales. And so I can't speak to that too directly. But yeah, contact them, talk it through, see what they can do for you.
I think this one might have been targeted towards some of those, hey, if you work for IBM, then we have a specific price kind of thing. I might be reading too much into it, but and I think every agreement is a shiny snowflake, right? So yeah. I don't think we have any blanket corporate discounts like that.
There are companies I know that buy in mass quantities to steal from Coneheads. They purchase mass quantities of trainings, and then they have internal portals where they make this available to their employee base. And so if you work at one of those companies, you would go to that portal to sign up rather than direct to us, and then there's a process involved there. And so there are items like that, but not direct to us. It's not like as Robert said, if you work, at company XYZ, you contact Verizon and you show them your company badge and you get a discount. We don't have anything like that.
All right, our next question here. I'm gonna kind of borrow from Twitch a little bit since we are streaming from there, but this kind of goes hand in hand with our next question. Do we need a student email ID to access the student discount? And then how much is a student discount?
It's all in the FAQ. Let me forget the FAQ item, unless anyone else has it handy at the moment. Let's see.
While you do that, I'll just say that like with these new discount programs and so many different business rules and different packages and subscriptions, we don't remember all the details off the top of our heads anymore. There used to be a time where you can ask a question and like we would just know everything, but
yeah, especially with my early onset Alzheimer's I'm dealing with here. Everything that comes out of my mouth is I know where you're heading. It's okay. I accept where I am. All right, so I just put the URL in the channel to answer it more directly. Students who are approved receive a 10% discount for Learn One purchases. Am I eligible? Yeah, basically the other items are there on the page. How do you redeem the discount code, et cetera, et cetera? That's all in there. If any further items on that's not answered in the FAQ, you'll want to contact orders at OffSec, and they'll be able to take care of you.
How would any of our students be able to ask for adjustments or accommodations should they have any disabilities? Who should they contact? Where should they go?
Again.
Yeah. Go for it, Harp.
Yeah, I was just gonna say again, orders that is the best group to ask. Basically, any questions about sort of administrative issues of payment and setup and when do you start and scheduling, all that stuff is through our orders department. Maybe Jim, we can work on getting someone from that group to join us in the office hours some weeks so that we have someone here.
Yeah.
But
good idea.
otherwise, like just generally talking about the group that is usually here, we're related to the content creation and delivery and OffSec Live and student mentorship. So all the technical facing stuff. That's generally what we're on about here. But if there's a big demand for conversations with our orders team, we could probably set something up.
I think the question was more so if someone has a disability or such as they need a screen reader, how do they go about getting that accommodation was more so the question.
Yeah. Like I said, I know we do have accommodations, but I don't know precisely what they are for each individual case. So the best way to ask is to speak to the orders team, outline your particular situation, and they'll be accommodating for you.
Agreed.
All right, our next question here is for Dr. Fry in regards to our OffSec Live Pen 200 streams that we do over on Zoom now. Is OffSec Live finishing in September, or is there something else happening with the program?
So the great question. So the current session finishes on September 2nd. Friday, September 2 is the last date for the current session. We'll be focusing on going forward between now and September 2. We'll focus on web application attacks, which was done today. Next week is next Wednesday, rather coming Wednesday is web application attacks again. Then we do privilege escalation for a week and a half, and then we do Active Directory for the last 2 weeks, and then we wrap it up. So the current session ends on September 2, and that's the plan for the rest. We wanted to focus on the pain points. Now to come back to the question that you asked, Falcon Spy. After this, we are collecting data. We are, looking at what would be most valuable to our current Penn 200 students. And, we are looking into another session for our current Penn 200 students only for OffSec Live. So you would have to be a registered student in the LMS. And when you purchase the Penn 200 course, you would automatically get access to the PWK Live course. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, I think you've answered it so far. Otherwise, Cypher, feel free to put in the chat if we didn't answer your question sufficiently. We'll take this opportunity real quick here to allow Siren to introduce herself and what she does here at OffSec.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Siren, and I work in research and development here on the content team at Offensive Security. So working on our certifications and, writing them, challenge machines, exam machines, topics, case studies, that kind of stuff. And I also do you guys probably know me from the Friday stream, which we are doing one today. And that's going to be the community stream. And that's about it.
And then I saw TJ sneak in, so we'll let him introduce himself and what he does here at OffSec real quick, and then we'll go back to our questions.
I was trying to slowly sneak in so that no one would see me, but I guess that was a fail. But for anybody that doesn't know me, my name is TJ Null. I'm the community manager for OffSec. Build a lot of things, break a lot of things, and have fun with it.
All right. We'll go back to our questions here. Someone had their second exam attempt this week, and they realized that it was forfeited due to not scheduling before their lab access expired. Why does the dashboard or the LMS portal say that they had till October to rate the exams? Help Desk wasn't too helpful when it came to answering their questions.
Yeah, I'll take this one. This way, Tam. Yeah. So thank you for the feedback, and this is something that our platform we're still kind of learning, developing. So we're going to be continue working on that. If there are some gaps in discrepancy, please contact orders or help, and we will try to, or if you already reach out to help. But please reach out to me directly if you want, and we'll see what we can do to kind of make that accommodation.
All right. And then Wei Tan just joined us, so we'll let him introduce himself real quick, and we'll go back to our questions.
I was trying to be like TJ, just trying to sneak in, just slowly chime in. But yeah, so I'm Wei Tan. I'm kind of really here to help students with anything. So kind of really the coordinator, liaisons, whatever that I can help you. That's where I'm here for.
He's the one with real answers here. Like the rest of us kind of just show up to talk about movies and make jokes, but Will actually has real answers for us.
I can talk about movies.
That's true.
And video games.
Oh yeah. Old school Pac-Man. I'm giving my age away. Miss Pac-Man. If you guys don't want to talk about that, I could go all day for that.
What was the one? Maze Raiders? Back on the 2600?
Maze Raider.
It's the one no one ever talks about, but like everybody had.
World Games was my jam, man.
So this is how old I am. Like I don't think I always wanted 2600, but my dad got me a Commodore 64. So and all the game stuff I had like generic games or just kind of a mini version of what Atari is like.
All right, we have one more question in the queue, and then we'll see if anyone else has anything. Otherwise, we could talk amongst ourselves. But until then, our one question here is, are we thinking of covering the remaining topics from Penn 200 starting again, or is that still to be determined in regards to the OffSec Live offerings?
Yeah, so the next session, so I went over the topics that we are covering from now until September 2nd. So I'll just reiterate. We'd focus on web apps again on Wednesday. Coming Friday, or rather next Friday, we'll start with privilege escalation, another whole week of privilege escalation, and then 2 weeks of Active Directory. So you'll have 4 sessions of Active Directory. In regards to the next session for OffSec Live, we are massaging the schedule right now. We will be covering many more topics in there. So we will be covering password attacks. We will be covering port redirection in there. And the next session of OffSec Live will be available for the currently enrolled students only. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
All right. Who's the person that does the voiceovers for our course videos?
Depends on the course. Pen 200 is Johnny Long. Hackers for Charity guy. Probably you can go to YouTube, find a bunch of talks that he's given different places.
All right. Is our new Cloud 100 course going to be a precursor to a new OffSec cert in the cloud? Or will it stay vendor agnostic, or will it cover things like AWS, Google Cloud Compute, not Google, Azure, Microsoft Azure?
Two
That's a great
questions there.
question.
Let me
Sorry, go ahead.
let me take the two of them in order. The first one about certifications, maybe we'll see. Part of what we're doing in general at OffSec is putting content out there, seeing how you as students react to it, how you like it. Is it helping you in your careers? Is it helping you with your growth? And based on that feedback, we're deciding if we want to create 200, 300, 400 level content around those tracks. So we'll see. Definitely a conversation that we're continuing to have. We, of course, want to expand our assessment program and our certification programs. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out in the future. As for cloud agnosticism, as it were, the general idea is to try to keep things as agnostic as possible, meaning that we want to be teaching the sort of reductionist view of how these things work without getting into the details of particular vendors, so that you can learn how to transition between different areas. That said, there are obviously some things that we need to get specific on, and so we will. That is definitely part of the plan, to have specific things on Azure, AWS, etc. Sam, did you want to add anything there?
Nope, that was really fleshed out. So well better answered than I would have done.
I happen to have had the webinar with Dayon yesterday, and so
True
I'm
that.
just
Yeah,
parroting
it's
him.
like fresh.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I have been reading some of the cloud course already for the 100 section, and most of it does focus on like containers, but like building it in different aspects. It is pretty interesting, I'll have to admit. I'm on the second section right now in the containers for cloud.
Nice.
All right. Do we have any plans to release more challenges for the Pen 300 course?
More challenges for the Pen 300 course. I would say that we're looking at generally updating it. Can't give any dates on when that will occur, but when we do such an update, it would impact not just challenges, but also course material itself. So that will happen sometime in the future. I just don't know when.
Will there be a Web 400 course?
So this one here, I know a lot of ears are listening for me on this one, and I'm just going to go ahead and probably formally decline to comment. I think that would be the best move on a 400 web right now.
All right. Some of our students have seen numerous comments about the exams being open book for our courses that we offer, but never the scope of how open book the exams are. Does does this include, the PDFs, the videos, anything that they find online in terms of like GitHub repos, other various walkthroughs, things like that? What's the open book level for our exams?
I think this is the first time we've gotten this question. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jim or Hart, but I am pretty sure our courses are open book. If you are struggling to recall a particular type of attack methodology, for example, on your OSCP, and you want to go back to the PDF and just get a refresher, or if you want to Google around for that topic, like that is permitted. Am I wrong on that one, Jim Harbinger?
No, not at all. Will, if you want to jump in and add any details here, it's your domain. The only thing I would say is it is completely open book. You can Google, you can find things. If you happen to stumble on anything that looks like these solutions to the exam, right, because somebody broke the policy and posted their answers, then you would probably be wise not to look at that page for very long and to close that, because you don't want to be accused of cheating and start an academic policy discussion and all that. But in general, the internet is completely open to you.
One thing to keep in mind, though, if you think of open book as being able to talk to somebody or talk to someone on a chat service, regarding what you're going through in your exam, that is legal. Do not do it.
Is not legal.
Yeah, illegal.
I said it is legal.
You said it again.
Yeah, it's not allowed. You use is
okay,
not.
Better. It's not allowed. I'm sorry. I'll need more coffee.
Yeah, I didn't want misunderstandings on that one, man.
It's not permitted. No bueno.
You are the one taking the exam, not your friends. So. Yeah.
Yep.
That needs to be a quote.
Yeah, and Harbinger, you pretty much summarized it. So yeah, I concur.
All right, our next question here, if we have nothing else to add to that. In case of a red team engagement, if we are able to bypass AMSI or antivirus by our own custom binaries or payloads, how does one go about reporting that in case a client asks, outside of just sharing the payload and the signatures?
I could take this one if no one's going to answer.
I was going to say, you want this one, TJ?
I could take this one. That's fine. So when I'm on a red team engagement or an assessment and I have a payload that I've used that I've added like custom encryption methods to it or bypasses or techniques, usually what I'll do is I will provide those techniques in the report if they're public. And most of the times I usually try to gather like public stuff that I use to help bypass some of these techniques. So I will go ahead and share those. I won't share the actual payload with them or how I compiled it. And then I will also reference any type of MITRE attack techniques that are there as well too, so that if the client wants to do further research on how to stop AMZ or disable it, right, they can be able to look at the MITRE attack framework, find that, look at some other samples that are out there or different intel reports that are there too, and then take that information and look at implementing their own type of detections. In the end of it all, a red team engagement, right, is supposed to improve the detections and the response for the blue team or the incident response team to look at that type of stuff. When we're looking at it for an attack surface, right, we're looking to help system administrators, network engineers also find ways to improve their detections and also to find ways to patch or limit the permissions or misconfigurations that are on those systems that hopefully will prevent, disabling of AMZ or, disabling some type of bypasses as well too from actually not being used.
What is our web-based Kali specs for what we have in the LMS portal? So for someone who wants to spin up a Kali instance inside of our website, what are the specs for those machines?
Ooh, I'm not sure that we can answer that one.
Yeah.
There's some things that you can find by enumerating it, but we'll leave that to you, I think.
Yeah.
Bingo.
What's the intent of the question? Just to know what the specs are, or is it to like set up their own system?
Seems just to be to know what the specs are, but we'll let our community member here fill in the blank when they can.
Yeah, I mean, as said, we can't really talk about what the specs are. Hell, we don't know, and even if we did know, I'm not sure we would. There's that. In terms of like wanting to set up your own, we have a lot of good docs in the Kali doc system that also cover items like this, and so very common that people say, you know, we've gone through the spiel before about how used to be it was live CDs, and then it was, you know, bootable USBs, and then it was VMs, and now it's a lot of weird things that we're doing. There's no like one way to run your Kali. Like some people still use VMs a lot. Some people will run like say a Docker container and then RDP into the Docker and have a full desktop that way. Sometimes they'll access it through a web UI that's essentially like a web-based VNC. You know, a lot of different ways of doing that. There's no right, wrong way. Each one has their advantages, disadvantages, and it's all documented in the Kali docs. So certainly have a gander at that. We put a lot of work into that to make sure that it's done well, it's documented correctly, it stays up to date. So take advantage of that resource.
All right. Based on our OSCP exam guide, we basically disallow automation or automated tools that perform exploits. Are we, you know, if someone finds a machine that is vulnerable using an Nmap NSE script, is that considered automatic exploitation?
So automatic exploitation, when we refer to tools on the exam, like I like to defer to NICTO. NICTO we permit, we allow NICTO. And the reason that we allow NICTO is because it doesn't perform any logic. I want to bold, you know, underline and italicize the word logic. If the tool is performing logic catered towards attacking, i.e. exploitation, then that is not permitted. But if it's like NICTO and it's really dumb. It's just throwing 2 decades of a repository worth of successful compromised GET requests to see if anything hits. That's fine. There's no logic there. It's just a bunch of GET requests. But if the program or the tool is performing logic on behalf of the assessor, then those kinds of things you would definitely want to contact. I believe it is challenges at offensivesecurity.com. Falcon, am I correct on that?
Yeah, you're correct. Some challenges at offensivesecurity.com.
Yep. But definitely steer clear on the exam just to stay safe of tools that are going to be performing automatic exploitation, with the exception of MSF, the Metasploit framework. That you have that one, you know, like white on rice. It sticks like glue. Even if it fails, that is your one attempt kind of thing. But that's about all we allow with regards to automatic exploitation on the exam.
All right. Are we going to consider having a OffSec Live for Web 200 in the future?
So this one is, believe it or not a question for me. This would be Dr. Phi, if they are here.
Hey, you know what? We listen to our community. We want to do the best we can for our students to create more value for them. Any suggestion is a good suggestion, so I'll pass it on to the leadership team, and you know, I'll let them know. But yeah, keep those suggestions coming in. Thank you.
All right. Follow up from our previous question about open book. Is there an issue with dropping to an individual's host machine for research, reporting, or maybe even SSHing into their Kali VM to work through the exam, rather than just doing all work strictly within the VM?
It depends on like where you're running the proctoring software. If you're trying to run your proctoring software entirely in the inside the Kali VM, then that's not going to work. You typically run the proctoring software on your host system, not inside the virtualized environment. And so in that situation, you can do it. Yeah, it's not an issue. It comes down to, I mean, if you start doing shady things, texting people and like, hey, I'm having this issue, then that's going to be a problem for sure. But using I mean, at the end of the day, no one forces you to have to use Kali either. If you wanted to do something weird, like tool up your Windows system and do all the work out of there, you totally could do it. No one's going to stop you from doing that. They're not going to support you so much. If you start having problems in some weird configuration, then our support is only going to go so far with that. There's Kali's works out of the box, and that's one of those design goals for it. But yeah, you can do work in your host, no issue at all.
All right, so we're all caught up on our questions on Discord. There is a good question on Twitch, so I'll just ask that here. But for those of you on Twitch, for this week at least, if you have a question, join us on Discord. We'll probably open it up to pinging back and forth between the two. But in any case, the question here is, in cases where a student needs to extend their access period to finish exercises or the labs, have we ever considered the availability or extending the availability for students to purchase a VPN package based on a certain number of hours rather than a 30-day period? This would help with students who face personal issues or even health problems in order to finish up some last-minute machines or exercises that they needed to finish.
I can say that no, we don't have a method in place to do that. It has come up as a question. It has come up as an item that we've talked about. I don't know if we will. The fact is, right now, we don't have the mechanism in place to actually bill that way. So we would have to build that out. So if there's enough demand, if there's a business case for it, maybe, you don't want to say no, but as of right now, there's no sort of plans or nothing that we're working towards in that direction. But, as been said and demonstrated as well, in multiple instances, we listen to the feedback, we listen to what people want, and we consider it where it makes sense.
Maybe I'll just add the comment to that. So if you do have health issue or any legitimate reasons, please reach out to orders. What we can do is potentially pause your lab environment, and then that kind of hopefully doesn't absorb in terms of your time usage. Okay.
All right. How many exam attempts are allowed for an exam?
Man, I hope you don't ever have to hit a situation where you're like legitimately, hitting a ceiling there. We have a progressive back off period that occurs, is that, where if you fail, you got to wait a while to take it again, wait a while to take it again. And each time that wait grows. It's documented in the facts somewhere. So someone on the call might know the numbers specifically. But at some point that like maxes out, and let me tell you, don't brute force the exam. That's not the intended issue. Learn the material, and that question should not be something that you really have to stress.
So I think if I recall the numbers, it's 4 weeks after the first one, 8 after the second, and then 12 for all subsequent exams after that. But you can take it as many times as you want after that. So there's no hard limit. Of course, if you're doing it, multiple times and not getting anywhere, definitely reach out to the student mentor team and have a conversation with them. We don't want students to take. We don't want students to take more than one exam attempt, really. If we can get you to pass on the first try, then we've done our job. so definitely keep in touch with us if you're finding out that things are not working for you.
And that being said, I am not a first timer myself. Like, I don't
Oh,
know
same. Many of us,
I did
yeah.
not pass it. I
Same
want people
here.
to know, like, dude, I did not pass it my first time. You know, Harb just said he didn't pass it his first time. I mean, it was only the second time around that I was able to reassess the situation and really have a better grasp over it.
All right. Is
Don't feel
if someone
bad.
finishes all of the lab machines, are they more likely to pass the OCP exam?
Yes. We have data that has showed for many years now that the more lab machines that you do, there's basically a linear correlation with the number of machines that you do and your chances of passing the exam. And it goes all the way up to maxing out the lab machines.
Also, keep in mind that you also paid for the time to be in the lab. You should try to take, the time and the opportunity you have to go through all the boxes as you can and understand the environment that's given to you. And I totally recommend it, most importantly, because it's a lot of fun. I mean, you get to hack all the different boxes that OffSec's made, go through all the different networks that have been built onto it. It's really enjoyable if you take the time and also, set the deadlines of how many boxes you want to break into per day with the time you have.
I also want to mention, so people have a little bit of perspective. Yes, I did not pass, or no, I did not pass on my first time.
Hey, Siren, your audio is real bad at the moment. It's hard to hear you.
I'm sorry.
That's better.
Okay, I was just saying, is this good? Okay. Well, I was just saying, no, I did not pass my first time, but I passed my second time after cracking about 85 to 90% of the lab machines. So that should just help with a little bit of perspective.
For what it's worth, there was a nice discussion in text about the voiceovers. I just want to call attention to that. I think that there's little things like that which don't get a lot of attention, with as opposed to like all the hacking and cracking and all that sort of thing. The video production, the voiceovers, making sure that's done to quality, something that we really take seriously and we put a lot of effort into it. So it's nice to get some kudos on that and whatnot. So thank you. The totally real myth for that exchange you've had with. I'm sorry you had to talk to Hoosier about it. Of all people, it would have been better if someone else engaged with you. But at least
Unbelievable. So Johnny Long actually works super hard on that, and I've had conversations with him where he's like, I can't record the voiceover today because my neighbor is like doing his weed whacker, and we had like a delay once because a neighbor was replacing their roof and he didn't want a bunch of like whatever like nail sounds in the background. So
do that impression again. I want to
yeah,
hear.
that was actually me cueing the neighbor to fire his
nice.
his nail gun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, full commitment. He works super. He has like sound treatment in his room, and he was doing like, I think he even did like voiceover like lessons at some point. So it's cool to get that feedback and pass it along to him.
See. There's a related question about who's the voiceover on EXP 301.
That
think
might be.
I think it's
Shannon.
Shannon.
I think it's Shannon.
If it's a woman's voice, it's Shannon, and if it's a man's voice, it's Johnny. I think they're the only two who are doing voiceover right now.
Nice.
All right. Our next question: what is Mutz up to nowadays? If we even know or are willing to share.
I Mutz is in good shape. He's living life and enjoying himself. I think like anything more specific than that in a public venue would not be very respectful of his privacy. But you know, he's living his best life for sure.
He's doing well, from what I understand.
All right, we're all caught up on our questions. So we'll just give a quick shout out for Siren Stream a little bit later today at 5 p.m. Eastern. She'll be covering a machine from Proving Grounds or Vulnhub. I'll let her kind of say which one real quick, and then while we wait for more questions, we'll just talk amongst ourselves.
Can you guys hear me fine? Is it better now, by the way, Jem?
Yeah, it's better. It's not as loud as you normally are, but
Okay.
it's better. It's better than it was.
All right. Well, yeah, today we have Dawn 2, like actually Dawn 2. So I do apologize about the hiccup last week, but today's machine is Dawn 2, and that's going to be a little special because we're going to be doing some binary exploitation and making some payloads. That's going to be around 4:30 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be the soft start, and hard start is around 5 p.m. Eastern.
Cool. All right. So yeah, we're all caught up on our questions for now. Feel free to talk about whatever movie spoilers you want to put in the chat. Just kidding. Don't actually put movie spoilers.
September 4th. September 4th. Season 6 of Rick and Morty.
Really?
Yes.
Did we really get it?
Yes, it's coming back.
Yeah, we didn't have to wait a whole year. That's a new one.
That's my hype
pretty
of
awesome.
TV shows and movies. So.
Oh, did you see the promo ad they put out with Adidas recently? It was like full featured. I was blown away. It was really well done.
I didn't see that. I did see someone did an art mashup of Rick and Morty and King of the Hill. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
I guess see if I find that art mashup.
Comment in the chat about Nmap having a section of movies that it was featured in. That's constantly something that I'm wondering if we should set up for Cali. We have like an internal wiki where we track some of that, but frankly we've been so bad at tracking everything that's come up to this point. So I don't know. Maybe it might be kind of cool, but it is always kind of nice where you're watching a show or something and all of a sudden the dragon pops up unexpectedly. That's always fun.
Do we have Falcon, are we going for an extra 10 minutes until 2 p.m.? Are we killing the stream at 2 p.m.?
Yeah, if we don't have any questions that require us to go over, we're gonna go to the full hour, and then we'll have everyone see you later for your stream.
Did we have to talk about what we bring into DefCon and what we shouldn't bring to DefCon if people are going to DefCon?
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. You guys are going to be there, right, Falcon, TJ?
Yes.
Yes.
Join our Signal group. Join the Signal group. I'm going to get you guys in there. That's what I'm going to do right now.
Okay, so TJ, since you brought it up, we so glad you volunteered. What do you do, or what do you bring to DefCon?
All right. So what I've brought to DefCon is I usually just bring a spare laptop. It's got nothing personal on there. And then I have a VPN that goes to my home network or to a third-party network that I have that I'll just do for like any type of browsing. So that's the one device I bring. I usually bring a Raspberry Pi in case I need to do like some portable stuff or just do like some small tinkering testing on some of the boards that I get. But when you go to DEF CON and when you go to Black Hat as your first time, you're not going to be able to experience everything because there's just so much going on. I mean, DEF CON is like grown with all of the different villages and different events that have happened. It's really great to see how, you know, our entire InfoSec communities came together and expanded in different areas. But when you're going there, just make sure you make the time to go to what you want to see, right? If you want to go to talks, make sure you go to the ones that you want to see. Keep in mind that all the talks that are going to be at DefCon are going to be recorded. They'll probably be out in the archives that they have. And other devices I usually bring, I just bring a cell phone and I turn off all my services on it, unless except for like cellular LTE. So in case I need to like to talk or text to someone, I'll do that. But if you like want to log into your bank account stuff, your credit card stuff, I totally recommend not doing that the entire week you're there. Like it can wait.
I want to say one thing about DefCon. So I technically am staff for DefCon 1 week out of the year, and that's for the Packet Hacking Village. If anybody hearing this today is going to DefCon and wants to see or meet me in person, please feel free to swing by the PHV or Packet Hacking Village. I will be there through the entire duration of DefCon 30. And we have a lot of really cool stuff planned.
All right, so we have a couple of questions that were queued while we were talking, so we'll get through those. Is completing a bachelor's degree important for a cybersecurity position, or is the OCP certification enough?
I think we answered this last week or the week before. Overall, the answer we go with on this is there is no universal truth on this sort of item. There's no this is good enough, this isn't. It really depends on the company, the role, the organization, all that sort of thing. It's difficult to give a universal answer, and also times change. My experience of what was and was not good enough is dated, and it's going to be different than what it is today. When we talked about this before, I think Robert and I had talked about how back in the day you didn't have a lot of degrees that were very focused in this sort of area. So like anyone that had a degree that was working, it's like in chemistry or in literature, whatever, wasn't really relevant, directly related material. And clearly a whole generation or two of folk have come about and worked in this space without that and have been successful. What is it today? It's difficult to really say, and it's going to vary based upon the type of job, the industry the company's in, what they decide to put value in, et cetera, et cetera. But don't forget, there is a certain body of knowledge that we certify with Pen 200 and the OSCP. There is a hell of a lot more outside of that body of knowledge that's important to you, your life, and your career, that is outside of the scope of anything that we're going to teach you. And some of that is going to be taught within a university program. And so keep that into consideration as well. It's not just enough to get the job. You want to get a job and then excel in the job and have everything go well and continue to grow and climb the ladder over time. You're going to need a lot more in life than just what we provide you with the OSCP. Don't look at this as a one-stop shop.
It may even be regional as well. I might suggest look at the job descriptions for the things that you would like to apply for eventually, and see what they require, and then work backwards from there.
Our next question here, in regards to going to DEF CON and Black Hat, any tips or advice for people who would like to attend the events but are socially anxious or intimidated by the community?
I can tell you, I used to get a lot of social anxiety, but when I was at DEF CON, I felt like I could be myself. You're actually around a lot of people that think like you and find, the same cool things in life, just like you, and there's thousands of them. So it's a really comfortable environment if you want to network. It doesn't get much more comfortable than that. Very laid back people, and creative. And at least that was my personal experience.
Anyone else? Otherwise, we'll go to our next question.
Just like anything, you just got to get out there and do it. And then what seems very foreign to you normalizes pretty quick. You know, what is it called? What is it? It's exposure therapy or something like that. You know, you just gotta be in there and engage, and just know that like the types of emotions and insecurities and whatnot that you're experiencing, 90% of the other people are feeling it too. So you know, you're never alone.
You can also, I mean, if you have a serious like social anxiety disorder, like you could attend something like that and really limit the amount of time. You don't have to go to every thing and be on the floor the entire time. You know, you can pick and choose, and make sure you also have time to be by yourself and recharge as well. Especially if you're attending on your own and you don't have an employer who's, you know, wanting to make sure that you're out on the floor the whole time. That can be tough. I feel you.
I promise we're really cool at Packet Hacking Village. Even if you have social anxiety, please swing by the PHV. We're very chill, and we keep the music bumping.
Yeah. Don't stress social anxiety. Stress making sure you shower and use deodorant and you know that sort of thing. If the entire event would be a lot more pleasant if the BO levels were a little bit lower.
All right, we'll go to our next question here. We do have a couple, just under 5 minutes left, so we'll try to get through whatever questions come in last minute. Otherwise, if you have questions and we didn't get to it or we missed it, feel free to ask in the Discord server, and we'll answer as we go. Otherwise, you can ask next week on our next office hour. So for the OCP topic exercises, is there a plan to post guides on how to complete the question after it's already been submitted, the flag, just so students have the intended way of what we were going about answering those questions, or like why we had those answers be the answers that they needed to supply?
The question, if I understand it, is once you've already submitted the answer and you've gotten it correct, can we provide guides that say how we would have done it ourselves? Is that the question?
I think you've worded it a lot more eloquently than I did when I was trying to paraphrase this.
Right now, we don't have any plans for that, but it's a cool idea, and I want to hear more. So feel free to reach out, and we can talk about what that could look like.
All right, I think we have time for one or two more questions still. So, what is an underlying skill that we think everyone should have that should be considered second nature before moving on to the next level in someone's pen testing career?
Depends what level is the next one, right? Like it's very different going from not a pen tester to a pen tester to a junior pen tester to like anything else. There's different levels of seniority. One thing that I think doesn't get as much attention as it deserves is just communication skills, being able to speak coherently about what you found, why you found it, what the ramifications of those things could be on the business, the impact, and doing that while speaking professionally and nicely and politely to people. That's something that is really hard to teach. Robert, I don't know from your perspective if there's anything more harder skills that you think are necessary there.
I was just going to say, oh, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I've repeated over and over is like just a natural curiosity and ability to, build and break things. That's huge in my mind.
I was going to say, so being able to have like good conversational skills with regards to your stakeholders, having templates already planned out, for types of questions regarding access permissions, whitelisting, rules of engagement. Having all of that planned ahead of time is a very valuable skill set, because when you actually come to the table, it shows your clientele or even in-house stakeholders or cloud, whatever it may be, that you know what you're doing and you're prepared. And showing them that gives them a lot of confidence in you, and that can really take you from being a junior to a full-on penetration tester or even a senior.
All right, and we have our one last final question. So again, if we didn't get to your question this week, feel free to ask in the server, and we'll in the Discord server, and then or otherwise wait till next week. Are all of us full time here at OffSec, or are some of us part time and hack elsewhere?
Well, Vespa's kind of a part timer, but that's just his
Yeah, I
nature.
was just gonna say, how awesome would it be if I then announced that I was part time when everyone else thought that I was full time?
I'd be pretty mad.
Wait,
Not gonna lie.
you're part time?
I'm part time. I also watch a lot of Netflix. That's my other job.
I had no idea.
I think no, I'm full time. I think most of us are
Oh,
full
man.
time, but
I was just about to say I
TJ?
can't tell if serious or screwing with us. TJ had to drop, but both TJ and I are both part time, and we hack elsewhere. And I think everyone else, at least here on the call, before they dropped or that are still on, they're all full time. So, but yeah, that about wraps up our community office hour. We host these every week on Discord for those who are just joining us for the first time ever or joining us on Twitch. Check out our Discord server events to see when these events go live. If you're interested, they'll be displayed in your local time zone, and it will also send you an alert when the events go live. We have Siren's box walkthrough later today, covering Dawn 2 from Proving Ground, not from Proving Grounds, from Vuln Hub. That's at 5 p.m. Eastern. You can catch
It's
her.
PG.
Oh, it is on PG. Okay. Yeah, so you can catch her later today at 5 p.m. Eastern. You can see what time it is in your local time zone here on Discord, or you can pull up a website that will tell you your local time zone later. It's also on Twitch. So we'll see you all later today for that. If not, we'll see you around on the server or next week. But thank you everyone who joined us, both from our staff and our community. Thank you for your questions, and we'll see you next week.
Catch you guys later. Thank you very much.
thanks, guys.